The night before my wedding, I was lying in the guest room of the apartment that was supposed to be our first home as a married couple. It was almost midnight. I couldn't sleep. I was excited and scared in the normal way people are before a big day. The room smelled like fresh paint and new carpet. Outside, February rain hit the window. I was thinking about the wedding tomorrow, the guests, the vows, our future. Then my phone buzzed. I picked it up and saw a new group chat. I thought it was some last-minute bridal party planning thing. I almost muted it without reading. Almost. Then the messages started. Jessica, OMG, who added Marcus? Amanda, wait, what? Removing him now. Jessica, don't remove him yet. It'll notify him twice. Amanda, what do we do? Jessica, just act normal. He probably didn't see yet. But I had seen. And I kept reading. Claire, guys, relax. He's probably asleep. Just remove him in the morning and say it was a glitch. Claire, my fiancé. The woman I'd been with for 5 years, engaged for 3. The woman whose wedding dress was hanging in our closet right then. Amanda, okay? But Claire, you can't be texting about you-know-what in here anymore. Claire, why? Marcus never checks his phone at night. He's probably dreaming about spreadsheets. They all reacted with laughing emojis. I didn't laugh. Then came the line that changed everything. Jessica said, tomorrow's the big day. You sure you still want to go through with the side plan? Claire said, babe, I've told you. Marcus is perfect. He's stable. Great job. He'll be an amazing dad. But Derek is fun. Derek is alive. Why should I have to choose? I read that again and again. Then, Claire, don't worry. I'll still sneak away with my ex-boyfriend before the honeymoon. Marcus will never know. He's too busy color-coding our retirement accounts. That was the moment I knew my life had just split in two. The life I thought I had and the reality I was reading on my screen. They went on. Derek was flying in the next day. She had booked time with him at the Ashford Hotel at 4 p.m. between the ceremony and the reception. She told me she needed bride time that afternoon. I had said, of course, honey. Take all the time you need. To them, that was hilarious. They joked she was going to hell. She joked it would be fun getting there. Then it got worse. Claire wrote that after we got married, she'd probably get bored of Derek, eventually. That this was just getting it out of her system. Marcus gets forever. Derek gets tomorrow. Everyone wins. They laughed. More emojis. More skulls. More proof this was normal to them. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just sat there and watched my future collapse in front of me, one message at a time. Soon I learned more. She'd cheated before, with a guy named Jake she'd seen for 3 months while I thought she was obsessed with yoga. She talked about how I'd never suspected a thing. She called how much I trusted her pathetic. They all joined in. Nobody tried to stop her. Nobody said, this is wrong. They enabled it. Encouraged it. At some point, something inside me went cold. Not numb, clear. I did what I do best. I opened my laptop and made a spreadsheet. Column A, timeline. Column B, logistics. Column C, actions needed. Column D, emotions. Column E, outcomes. Then I wrote a list in my phone. Claire has cheated with at least Derek and Jake. She plans to meet Derek at 4 p.m. on our wedding day at the Ashford Hotel. She sees me as stable, predictable, and pathetic. She wants me as security while she chases excitement. Her bridesmaids know and support it. She doesn't plan to stop after marriage. She believes I worship her and will never suspect. She is right about the past. She is wrong about what happens next. She has accidentally given me the truth. By 6 a.m. I had a plan. Cancel the wedding. First, I called my brother David in Seattle. He was supposed to be my best man. The wedding is off, I said. I need help. No drama. Just facts. I sent him the spreadsheet with all the vendors and a short script to use. He started calling them one by one. I called the venue, Meridian Gardens, next. The coordinator was shocked. She tried to talk about postponing. I told her no. It was over. Please just send the cancellation invoice. Then my parents, that call was the hardest. I told them the basic truth. Claire had been cheating and planned to meet her ex on our wedding day. My mother cried. My father went very quiet and very calm. They asked what I needed. I asked them to go to the venue and intercept guests. To tell people the wedding was cancelled, and nothing more. They agreed. Then I asked David to do one more thing, call the Ashford Hotel and cancel any reservation under Derek Castellano. He did. No questions asked. Finally, I called my boss, asked for emergency leave, and told him the wedding was cancelled. He didn't ask for details, just told me to take the time I needed. Leave. I didn't want to be in the same country when everything exploded. I asked David to fly with me somewhere far. We chose Tokyo. He booked tickets for that afternoon. While I packed, my phone started lighting up. Claire calling. Claire texting. Baby, where are you? We have breakfast with the wedding party at 9. Marcus? I didn't answer. To her, everything was still going according to plan. Wedding at 3 p.m., hotel with Derek at 4 p.m., life with stable Marcus forever. She had no idea that at 11:47 p.m. the night before, her bridesmaid had blown everything up. I left the apartment with a single suitcase, my passport, my laptop, and the leather journal my grandmother had given me years before. I left the honeymoon suitcase behind. At the airport, David met me at the lounge. I told him everything. Every message. Every detail. He listened in stunned silence and then simply said, okay. We're getting on this plane. And we're not going back until you're ready. On the plane, I listened to a voicemail from Claire, recorded that morning. She sounded loving, excited, emotional. She talked about how much she loved me, couldn't wait to marry me, remembered our first date, called me her home. If I hadn't seen the group chat, I would have cried listening to it. Now, it just sounded like very good acting, or worse, someone who genuinely believed she could cheat and still claim to love me. My brother listened and said quietly, "That's what a sociopath sounds like when they think they're winning." The fallout back home. Halfway over the Pacific, David's wife texted with updates. Claire had shown up at the venue to find it dark and empty. She called everyone she could. She learned all the vendors had been canceled early that morning. Soon, Claire started posting on Instagram. A picture in her dress. "When your groom gets cold feet on your wedding day, still the most beautiful bride you'll never have. Your loss, Marcus." Photos of the empty venue. Selfies with crying captions about betrayal. She made herself the abandoned bride. People flooded her comments with sympathy and hate toward me, a man none of them had actually heard from. Meanwhile, my parents stood at the venue and quietly turned guests away, telling them the wedding was off due to personal reasons. Some guests started to sense the story wasn't as simple as Claire posted. Employees at the venue mentioned how calm and precise I'd been with cancellations. It didn't feel like cold feet. It felt like someone acting on clear information. But I didn't post anything. I stayed silent. Tokyo in the letter. In Tokyo, David and I settled into a tiny hotel room in Shibuya. We walked the city, ate ramen and convenience store food, visited temples and shrines. Let the noise and neon wash over us. I wrote everything down. A detailed document of the group chat messages. What happened hour by hour. What I had done and why. I saved it in 3 places. Not for social media. For myself. To fight the day when I might start doubting my own memory. We went to Meiji Shrine, where people wrote wishes on wooden plaques. On mine I wrote, "May I remember this clarity." Because that was what I was most afraid of losing. The clear understanding that this was not my fault, that I deserved better, and that walking away was the right choice. I also wrote a letter, not to the internet, but to friends and family. I told them I found out about Claire's affairs from the bridesmaids group chat, that she had planned to meet Derek during the reception, that I had proof and screenshots I would share privately if someone truly needed it, that I canceled the wedding and left because I refused to marry someone who treated me that way, that I wasn't trying to drag her publicly, just to give the truth to people who mattered. I sent this email to about 50 people and then closed my inbox. Some wrote back with support, anger on my behalf, and offers of help. A few of her friends scolded me for airing dirty laundry or suggested I was overreacting. I ignored those. The people who mattered believed me. That was enough. Coming home. After about a week in Tokyo, I flew back to Virginia and stayed with David and his wife Sarah. Claire kept messaging, demanding closure, saying I owed her a conversation. I didn't respond. Eventually, I sent one final text. "You got your closure at 11:47 p.m. when your bridesmaid added me to your group chat." I read everything. I know about Derek. I know about Jake. I know what you said about me. Only thing you get from me now is silence. Goodbye, Claire. Then I blocked her everywhere. When I finally went back to the apartment to get my stuff, Claire had been there first. The place was trashed. My clothes were piled in the living room, many cut up with scissors or stained. My mugs were smashed. My toiletries thrown out. She left a note saying I was a coward, that I had destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me, and that I would die alone and deserve it. We took photos. I didn't sue her. I just documented it and moved on. My lawyer handled the lease so I could walk away cleanly later. At the same time, Claire posted on Instagram. He came and took his things without even leaving a note. This is how little I meant to him. That was when I truly started to see how deeply she needed the role of the victim, and how much I did not want to be part of her show. Rebuilding. Moved into my brother's guest room for a while, then got my own small place. I quit my job and found a new one in Seattle. I needed a fresh start. In the months that followed, some friends stayed. Some drifted away or chose to believe Claire. My family stayed firmly on my side. Claire turned the canceled wedding into a brand. She posted daily about healing and being abandoned. She gained thousands of followers. She even started posting sponsored content. I didn't engage. I didn't follow her. Occasionally, someone sent me screenshots so I'd know, but mostly I ignored it. I wrote in my journal instead. I wrote things like, "Trust is not stupidity. Love without respect is not love. Someone can cry on camera and still not be honest. I will survive this, not because I'm special, but because humans just do." Eventually, I moved to Seattle. There I started a new job. Found a small apartment in a new neighborhood where no one knew my story. Went hiking with David. Built a quiet, simple life that was entirely mine. I tried dating. I met a woman named Rachel and we had a few good dates, but I realized I wasn't ready for a real relationship yet. I told her the truth. She understood. Meanwhile, news of Claire's life traveled to me now and then. She got engaged to Derek about 6 weeks after our canceled wedding. A few months later, they broke up after he discovered she'd been messaging yet another guy. It fit the pattern. I didn't feel happy or sad about it. I mostly felt detached. It wasn't my problem anymore. Apologies and loose ends. Sometime later, Claire's bridesmaid Amanda found me in a bookstore. She apologized, really apologized, for laughing in the chat, enabling Claire, never speaking up. She told me she had eventually shown Derek the old messages too, so he could see who Claire really was before marrying her. Their engagement ended right after. I thanked her, but told her I didn't need her guilt or her apology to move on. I already had. Back in Seattle, my life slowly became normal. I worked, saw my family, made new friends, went to the gym, read books, wrote in my journal. I stopped checking anything related to Claire. One day, I got a LinkedIn request from her. Her profile said Phoenix Rising and showed a polished new headshot. I didn't accept. I didn't decline. I just deleted the request and went on with my day. That night I wrote, I have nothing to say to her. Not because I'm still angry, but because that chapter is simply over. Who I became. A year after the canceled wedding, I looked around my life and realized something simple and huge. I was happy. Not excited. High on revenge happy. Just calm, steady, quiet happy. I knew these things for sure. I am not stupid for having trusted her. Her cheating and lying say everything about her and nothing about my worth. Walking away saved years of future pain. Silence was the most powerful answer I could give her. The night before my wedding, my fiancé accidentally showed me who she really was. I believed her. I walked away. And then I built something better.